A visit to Classy for a midwinter inspection. The expedition departure date has been set. Is there a mouse in the house? The countdown begins in 3, 2, 1. Welcome, Geezer here. It's time for a midwinter inspection on old Classy. Make sure everything's okay here. If you watch the video all the way to the end, you'll also notice that I've got a whole new format for the end of these videos. But anyway, let's take a look at Classy and make sure she's doing okay. First thing we want to do is just kind of take a general walk around. Make sure everything looks good from the outside. Go around here to the back. Make sure nothing's tampered with back here. Check the spare tire. That's sounding good. We're just looking for any signs of broken glass or hatches that are open. Just if we see anything that looks wrong, check the tires here in the back. Well, that all looks good. Now we need to go up and look at the roof, but I'm not going to take that ladder off the back. I'm just kind of lazy that way, so I'm just going to extend the camera up and take a shot over the edge of the roof, and then I can review that footage when I get home. This is just an easy way to do it. Kind of have a video capture of what's going on with the roof. And of course right now I have no idea what that looks like. But we'll go around and do the same thing on the other side. We're going to be starting the engine, so good idea to check the oil first. Right up with the full mark. Looks good. And just kind of take a general look around, make sure we don't have any critters that's taking up housing under here. And we need to do the same thing with the generator because we're going to start it. You always want to screw the dipstick all the way back in. Otherwise it'll be about 1/4 of an inch short. And it's right up there full. Okay, it's the moment of truth. Oh yeah, Classy's ready to rock. Yes indeed. We'll let her warm up for a little bit. But what we want to do is set the parking brake, make sure it doesn't go anywhere, and shift the transmission to neutral. The reason for that is when the transmission's in park, nothing moves inside that transmission. So you want things to loosen up in there a little bit. So if you put it in neutral, some of the gears are turning, some of the pumps are working. the viscosity of the transmission fluid's being reduced a little bit. So we're just going to let her sit here and perk for a minute and move on to something else. I just love that sound, I do. We'll go on inside here. The first thing we want to do is turn on a light or two, because these lights won't work if the engine's not hooked up to the battery system, because the house battery's just dead as a brick. It might as well be a cinder block. So these lights wouldn't come on if Class C wasn't charging the in-house 12-volt system. So that tells us two things right there. The connector switch is working, the alternator's working, all those systems are just fine. Our next step would be then to fire up the generator, or at least try to. Okay, listen for it. Ooh, had me worried there for a minute, but she's cooking. She's doing well. We'll just let it run for a little bit while we go around and take a look at the plumbing system, make sure we haven't gotten any leaks. Okay, this is where the water pump is and the water heater, and I'm looking around in there. I don't see any pink anywhere, so I think we're good under the seat there. We'll come back here and look underneath this sink. You probably won't be able to see very well, but I can see in there. Yeah, that all looks good under there. And we also want to look around the ceiling, see any signs of leakage anywhere there, especially around the edges where the roof meets the sidewalls. Make sure to open the cabinets, look back in there. Gonna do the same thing over here. Well, I'll go ahead and finish up towards the back there. You get the idea of what we're doing here. Okay, the engine's been running for at least 5 minutes, and that's all longer it takes. All we really want to do is circulate the lubrication in there and make sure everything's got a fresh coat of oil in there. But the next thing, we want to run through the transmission gears to circulate the transmission fluid around in the transmission, make sure everything in there gets lubricated. Now, it's only necessary to leave it in a gear long enough to where you feel it try to pull. At that point, it's already done its job, and that's all that's necessary. Just run through them one at a time. Back into park. We can go ahead and shut the engine off now. I always like to take the parking brake off. I don't like to leave it on. I've had instances years ago with the old drum brakes like this has of rusting up, seizing up when you leave the parking brake on for an extended period of time. So I always like to leave it off. Well, we're done up here. Let's head back into the coach. There's a good sign. Light's still on. That means because the battery's dead, the generator must be charging or that light wouldn't be on. So that's a very good sign. And now that the generator's warmed up a little bit, we need to put a load on that charging part of it, the generator part. Best way to do that's with an air conditioner. It doesn't have to be real cold, but we do want that generator to work. Put it on low cool, let that run for a while. We're just about to be done here. I'll be back in a few minutes when that gets done doing its thing. What it's doing now is the coolant in that air conditioner has a lubrication inside it, a lubricant, and by circulating that Freon, it's lubricating the compressor and the seals and what have you in that air conditioner. It's just a good idea, just a good thing to do. Plus it exercises the generator. Generator's kind of like any other muscle. If you don't use it, it weakens. We're all done here. Classy Passenger inspection with flying colors. The only thing that I found that was a problem, if you want to call it that, I did find 2 mice in the mouse traps. We got 3 traps inside, and 2 out of the 3 had mice in them. I didn't film that. I didn't figure anybody would want to actually see that. So the jury's still out on the dryer sheet deterrent theory. I'm not so sure, but they're not hurting anything, so I'll just leave them in there. We have set a departure date for the expedition. It'll be May 16th. It's a Monday. I wanted to leave on a Monday, so we'd be traveling the first week during the week in case there's a problem, so places would be open and we could get some help and get going again. That's kind of subject to change, but for now that's the date. You won't reach a goal if you don't make one. So I've been able to start a countdown. That date, from today's date, which is January 30th, is 15.21 weeks, 3.57 months, or 107 days till we take off. One other thing that I do want to mention at this point is I've done away with the canned outro to these videos. You know, I just didn't think it was very personal. It always seemed out of place no matter how I tried to edit it in and make a smooth transition. It was just always, you know, just out of nowhere, some kind of deranged freak show having a panic attack started screaming at you, and that's not what I wanted at all. You deserve better than that. So I'll just personally right here thank you for watching the videos, especially this one. Leave me a little feedback. You know, select one of the little thumb feedbacks down there, the up or the down, but make it the up one. Subscribe to the channel. It's just right down over here, big red box says subscribe on it. It's free, it's easy, just please do that. Leave a comment if you want to down below here in the comment section. Join our Facebook page. We're starting to have a lot of fun with that. It's kind of new, but it's gaining ground. We're having a lot of fun with it, and I'll put a link down here in the video description for you for your convenience. So take a minute and check that out. That's about it for today. So until next time, from the entire Geezer gang, happy trails.